Listen, Cleveland, something is shifting inside the walls at Berea, and if you look closely, you can feel the tension rising today. We have spent years searching for that specific presence, that physical edge that defines the AFC North. It is about more than just depth. It is about the future of this franchise. Before we dive into this move that could change our offensive identity forever, do me a favor. If you are a real Browns fan, hit that like button and subscribe. We are chasing a Super Bowl, and every move matters. This one feels different, doesn't it? The Browns finally did it. They went out and found a quarterback who actually looks like he belongs in the AFC North. For years, we have watched this division become a gauntlet of physical dominance and weather-tested giants. We remember the days of Ben Roethlisberger and Joe Flacco just standing tall in the pocket while defenders bounced off them. Lately, it felt like we were moving away from that identity, especially with the talk around Dylan Gabriel. But honestly, the front office had to realize that a 5'11" frame simply was not going to survive the winter games in Cleveland or the physical beatdowns in Baltimore. That is why the selection of Taylon Green with the first pick of the 6th round feels like such a calculated statement. At 6'6", this kid is a mountain. Now this is where it gets interesting because he is not just a big body. The Browns are obsessed with data, and Green put up the 3rd best relative athletic score in the entire 2026 draft class. That is not just for quarterbacks. That is regardless of position. He is a freak of nature. New head coach Todd Monken has been very vocal about wanting a quarterback who can create explosive plays out of structure. He wants a big arm and elite athleticism. If you can look past the mistakes and the raw edges, Taylon Green fits that mold almost perfectly. It creates this hidden tension because he is currently the 4th guy on the depth chart. There is a real chance they try to sneak him onto the practice squad, but in this league, a 6'6" athlete with those numbers does not stay hidden for long. It feels like the Browns are playing a high-stakes game of development. They are betting on the physical traits that you just cannot coach. But here is the thing. Bringing in a guy like Green sends a ripple through the entire locker room. It tells the veterans that the search for the right prototype never stops. It tells the fans that we are done being the smaller team in the division. We are going back to that bruising, physical Cleveland identity that we have been craving. This move might seem small on paper, but the implications for our offensive philosophy are massive. Now we have to talk about the reality of what we are seeing on the tape. Taylon Green is undeniably a fun, raw athlete, but he needs a massive amount of refinement as a passer. When you watch his college games, you see the inaccuracies that keep coaches up at night. During his final season at Arkansas, he threw 19 touchdowns but also had 11 interceptions. That kind of ratio can be terrifying for a team with Super Bowl aspirations. However, if you look at his entire college career, 59 touchdowns to 25 interceptions shows a player who has at least seen everything the college level can throw at him. He is already 23 years old and has played 4 full seasons. Starting 26 games at Boise State before transferring to the SEC is no small feat. He has seen a lot of live bullets. This matters because the Browns have needed several quarterbacks just to reach the finish line of every single season since Baker Mayfield led us to the playoffs back in 2020. We know the history. We know the pain of watching the season slip away, because the depth chart crumbled. This selection is about ending that cycle of despair. But there is a concern here that we have to address. By bringing in such a raw prospect, are we taking a roster spot away from someone who could help us right now? The pressure on Todd Monken to develop this kid is immense. Some are saying that Green is just a project, but others feel like there is a hidden plan here that we are not yet seeing. The roster impact is significant because it forces the team to decide between immediate security and long-term upside. In a division where every game is a dogfight, you cannot afford to waste a single spot. Yet, the Browns seem confident. They see the height, the arm strength, and the mobility as a foundation that is too good to pass up. It creates a sense of uncertainty about how the depth chart will eventually shake out. Will he actually make the active roster? Or are we going to risk losing him to a team that is desperate for a developmental lottery ticket? The emotional stakes are high, because we have been down this road before with talented athletes who could not quite master the nuances of the game. This is where things change and the narrative gets really intense. We have to look at the immediate impact this could have on our red zone efficiency. Last season, we saw a lot of success using Quinshon Judkins in the Wildcat offense. It was creative, it was physical, and it worked. But we all know the devastating news about Judkins' leg injury. With him working his way back, it would be incredibly risky to keep running those same plays with our star running back. That is exactly where Taylon Green could become a secret weapon. Imagine a 6'6" quarterback coming in for short yardage situations. He is big enough to absorb the contact that you simply do not want Deshaun Watson or Shedeur Sanders taking. We know that Watson's durability has been a massive question mark since he arrived in Cleveland. He has only finished 19 games for us. That is a stat that haunts this fan base. Even if Sanders wins the job, the coaching staff has to find a way to protect the starter from those unnecessary hits that derail seasons. Green provides that bridge. He completed 60% of his passes in college, so he is not just a runner. He is a legitimate threat to throw the ball if the defense stacks the box. If Munkin and Travis Switzer want to get truly creative in their first season together, they could install a specific package just for Green. It creates a nightmare for defensive coordinators. How do you prepare for a guy that size who can also run like a deer? This could become something much bigger than just a sixth-round backup role. It could be the evolution of our goal line offense. But that is the biggest question. Will the Browns actually have the guts to use him this way, or will he just be a minicamp arm, used to give the starters a break? The potential for him to be a steal in the 2026 draft is right there in front of us. He has the tools to be a game-changer in specific situations. And for a team looking for any edge to finally win this division, that is an opportunity you cannot ignore. The tension between his raw talent and his potential utility is what makes this so fascinating. I am going to be honest with you all. This move actually excites me, but it also worries me a little bit. I really like the idea of finding a freak athlete late in the draft, but we have seen the Browns struggle with these tweener prospects before. I think fans should pay close attention to how he is used in the preseason. If he is strictly taking snaps at quarterback and struggling, the narrative might sour quickly. But here is my insider perspective. This reminds me so much of the Terrell Pryor situation. Pryor was a quarterback at Ohio State, but eventually realized his best path to NFL success was as a receiver or tight end. Taylon Green is such a freakish athlete that if the quarterback thing does not click immediately, the Browns could try to convince him to make a similar position change. Can you imagine a 6'6" athlete with his speed playing as a big-bodied receiver or a move tight end? It would be a matchup nightmare. This could be incredible, or it could become a problem if he is unwilling to adapt. Another scenario is that the Browns are looking at him the same way the Patriots looked at Joe Milton. They could give him a couple of preseasons to showcase that massive arm, and then trade him for a much higher pick to a team that thinks they can fix him. It is a smart business move for a team that loves data and value. But as a fan, I want to see him contribute here. I want to see him wearing the orange and brown and making plays in the Dawg Pound. This move feels like a low-risk, high-reward gamble that fits exactly what this new coaching staff wants to build. We are looking for playmakers who can break the game open when the original play falls apart. Whether he is the quarterback of the future or a specialized weapon in the red zone, Taylon Green represents a shift in how we are evaluating talent. We are looking for the outliers now. We are looking for the guys who have the physical traits to dominate the AFC North. It is a bold direction, and while it is uncertain, it gives us a reason to be cautiously optimistic. As we look ahead, the story of Taylon Green is far from over. The quarterback room in Cleveland is more crowded and more talented than it has been in years, but the questions remain. We still need to see how Deshaun Watson responds to the pressure and how Shedeur Sanders handles the transition to the pros. In the middle of all that drama, we have the 6'6" wild card waiting in the wings. Will he be the ultimate draft steal or just another name on the long list of what-ifs? The future of the franchise feels like it is hanging in a delicate balance. One thing is for sure, the Browns are not playing it safe anymore. They are taking big swings on big athletes, and that should tell you everything you need to know about the ambition in this building. We are not just trying to compete, we are trying to change the rules of the game. So, what do you think? Should the Browns use Green in a special goal line package, or should they focus solely on developing him as a passer? Could you see him making a position change like Terrell Pryor did? Drop your thoughts in the comments below because I want to hear from the real Cleveland faithful. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe if you bleed orange and brown. Something big is happening in this city, and we are going to be here for every single second of it. Go Browns!